From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Monday, May 18th. Most of central Indiana will get rainfall today, and it'll continue through this afternoon. There's a flash flood watch out over the eastern half of the state through tomorrow afternoon. The rain will get pretty heavy at times throughout the evening. The highs today will be in the upper 60s. And we do have our first named storm of Atlantic hurricane season. Tropical storm Arthur is inching closer to the East Coast. People living there are already feeling the winds pick up. As of 8 o'clock this morning, Arthur was about 50 miles from Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, with sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. Arthur's trajectory has it close to the Outer Banks by later today with rain and gusty winds. Today, President Trump will meet with leaders in the restaurant industry to discuss the impact of the pandemic. The meeting's expected to include representatives of the Independent Restaurant Coalition. The group organized during the pandemic to represent the interests of independent restaurants across the country. The group expressed concerns about the Paycheck Protection Program. It most recently praised additional flexibilities for restaurants in the Democrats' stimulus plan that passed last week in the House. Also today, dozens of auto plants will reopen across the country after being shuttered because of the pandemic. According to the Detroit Free Press, 2 General Motors plants will open here in Indiana. Those are in Kokomo and Fort Wayne. According to our partners at Inside Indiana Business, GM says ventilator production is still scheduled to continue through August. GM officials say that work will not affect regular production. A GM spokesperson told the Detroit Free Press that by Tuesday, 12,000 people will be back to work off furlough. And as much of the U.S. is slowly reopening, the first big test will be this coming Memorial Day weekend. Some states used this past weekend as a test drive to see if people will do their part. Some stores in Marion County reported a surge in crowds. We spoke with Aaron Young Designs, the owner of the fabric and dressmaking studio, said they were shocked at the number of people not abiding by the 6 feet guidelines. Other states saw an outpouring of people. In California, thousands hit the shore in Santa Monica. It was the first weekend since beaches reopened in the county. There are restrictions in place like no sitting or sunbathing, although many people were seen doing just that. A park in New York City painted circles on the grass to help with social distancing. Some spots had just 1 person, others had 4 trying to squeeze in. As for beaches, New York City says those will remain closed over the holiday weekend. Mayor Bill de Blasio says it's just not safe. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says he's optimistic that the economy can begin to recover this year. In an interview on 60 Minutes, Powell said a recovery can begin in the second half of the year. If a second wave of the virus doesn't develop, that is. Powell suggested a full recovery won't be possible until there's a vaccine. He noted that the economy was healthy before the virus struck and that once the outbreak is contained, the economy should be able to rebound substantially. NASCAR calls on health professionals to give the command to start a race dedicated to their work over the weekend. Darlington Raceway in South Carolina hosted the Real Heroes 400 Sunday. The race ran with no fans in the grandstands and masks on the crew members, safety teams, and broadcasters. Kevin Harvick won. He talked about how odd it was to celebrate in an empty track and that he misses the fans. NASCAR worked with health officials in North and South Carolina to develop a rapid return to racing. 7 races in 11 days, all at Darlington or Charlotte. And golf's return to television ended with a thriller. Rory McIlroy and Dustin Johnson beat Ricky Fowler and Matt Wolff in sudden death in a skins game format, with all the money going to charity. It was the first golf on television since the pandemic shut down sports in March. The players met at Seminole Golf Club in Florida with no fans or caddies. The players carried their own bags and were not allowed to touch the flagstick. The PGA Tour plans to return on June 11th without fans. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.